Hey guys, what's up? It's Sarah. Welcome to my channel. Welcome back if you've been here before. Today I'm going to be doing an anti-haul and a wish list, as you saw in the title. Duh. If you guys don't know, an anti-haul is where you talk about things that are dropping or have recently been dropped that you just don't see the point or desire to purchase. And of course, you know what a wish list is, things that I would want to purchase. There's a ring light next to me I'm going to snack over. I tried to film this yesterday, and as I sat down to edit it, holy crap, was I a hot mess during the whole thing. Of course, yesterday I had new makeup that came in the mail, and I was playing around with that as I was getting ready, and it was just so much. I'm still gonna get ready, I'm still gonna talk about the same things, and I'm still gonna have the same viewpoints and whatnot on all of it. But this time, hopefully, it's not going to be as much of a mess. Anyway, I also did just get out of the shower. I feel like having curly hair this week. If you're a person that doesn't like to wash their hair every single day, you might get what I'm saying. If I wash my hair and then I straighten it, my hair is going to be straight the whole week. Well, maybe not everybody has that same problem. My hair is super stubborn. If I curl it and I do what I'm about to do, I'll be able to straighten it towards the end of the week. It's also a good segue into the first product on my anti-haul. Oh crap. I'm going to have to... Fun fact, this was a method that I learned on TikTok, and some of you are going to be like, oh, I've seen this before. Anyways, and I'm just gonna try and dry my hair a little bit. I don't want it bone dry, but I want it a little more dry than it is right now, because if I don't dry it a little more than it is right now, it's not gonna be dry by the time I take out the curling method. So I'm gonna do that really quick. But anyway, okay, so damply dry. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is just take some hair mousse. You could use gel, you can use whatever. I just like mousse because it's fun. And so I'm going to flip my head over and scrunch it up. Okay, so super easy, and if you're on TikTok, you probably saw this trend. I want to say it was about a month ago. Literally a shower, like the robe that you have, like a shower robe. That's all you need. If you have shorter hair, you can fold it in half and it would probably take less time. This is going to be really funny looking when I put this on my head. But I have longer hair, so I'm going to use the whole length of it. So what I'm going to do is take one side of my hair and I'm going to clip it away. And I do it down the middle because I feel like it gives me more of an even like amount of curls, and then I'll part it on the side normal, like how I normally would after. Okay, so then I take this and I put it down my head like so, and then I'm just gonna wrap my hair, twist it around. I go forwards and backwards. I've seen people just go like forward direction, but like I cross over kind of almost like a braid. The first couple times you do it, it might be a little bit harder, but it's okay, just practice, try it again. I'm gonna keep doing this. I'm gonna talk about my first item on my anti-haul. Now, this item, it's not new. It came out a while ago, I think a couple months ago. I've seen Brad Mondo use it. I saw Tati put a video out with it, and it is the Dyson hair straightener. I think it's cool that Dyson is expanding into hair. What you're gonna see here now, I'm gonna take this last little bit, and you could even use a like hair tie, but like I don't bother with that anymore. I feel like it kinks the hair more than anything. I have tried that, but I'm just gonna take the last little bit of hair and tie the robe sleeve like that. Anyway, but it's $500, and I get it. It's the rechargeable hair straightener. It has all this new technology. It's rechargeable, it's cordless, like I get it, it's cool. When I watched Brad Mondo use it or whatever, like he was able to see how it would be very useful in a salon, and I get like how it could be useful in a salon. I'm redoing this because I'm messing up as I'm going. So for salon use, I get it. And they also get a discount. Like if you are a beautician, cosmetologist, he said that you also get a discount if you're able to provide your license number or something, and I don't really know how all that works. Y'all wonderful people get a $100 discount. So maybe that was their target market, but like I just don't see how an everyday person needs a $500 hair straightener. And I get it, like if you're like a Kim Kardashian who's not like a hairstylist or whatever, but you have all that extra money, but like, you know, like I don't see it. I don't see it. The other thing too was, even in his video, he did point it out, Brad Mondo, that it kinked the hair a little as it was pulling it down. And even in Tati's video, she had said that, or she didn't say it, but like she even said it didn't. But I remember looking at it and I'm like, no, this left kinks in your hair unless I'm just crazy. All right, braids are done. So yeah, the Dyson hair straightener just is not for me. It's expensive. I'll stick with my cheap little $30 hair straightener. Okay, so now I'm gonna start off with my face. I'm gonna pull my list up because I made a list of all of the things that I wanted to hit on, and the only reason I knew that I had that Dyson ready to go was because I was doing my hair. Alright, oh, e.l.f. times Chipotle. I don't know if you guys have been seeing these videos go around, and I don't know if they're anywhere else but TikTok, but I keep seeing some of my favorite TikTokers, and I know it's super cool, like more power to them to take a sponsored video, but they keep posting about this like e.l.f. times Chipotle collaboration. And I'm like, what in the world? And I'm watching them use these things in this collaboration. And I'm like, this is stuff that has already been in e.l.f.'s collection. Like, none of this is new. So I was very confused. So I went on e.l.f.'s website and I dug around looking at it. And it is. It's all stuff that's been in their collection. They're just using the products in like making it like a metaphor for putting together a burrito. Like, the foundation is the tortilla, the this is the that, the this is the that. And I'm like, okay. I was like, that's cool that e.l.f. and Chipotle want to like team up together to create these things, but don't you think that they would have come out with like something new? So for me, I just wasn't interested. And it's also $43 for the whole thing. I guess when I think of e.l.f., e.l.f. was one of the first brands that I ever used. And it's a brand that I still love, and some of their products are really nice and they're a little more expensive, which is fine, but like for me, $43 for an e.l.f. collection, and maybe I'm just being a bit stuck up and arrogant in some ways, I don't know, but I just don't see it. I also think that it's a really random collaboration. I don't know, is Chipotle and hot water again? Maybe that's why they wanted to collab with a makeup brand. It didn't make sense to me. And then the other thing I was looking around for was every time I see one of these videos, right, there's this Chipotle bag and it's silver and it mimics kind of, I guess you could say, the Chipotle like wrapping, like when they make the burrito bowls, like the tin foil or the tin foil that they wrap their burritos in. It kind of mimics that. I was like, okay, that's cool, that's different, that's something new, because to me, if there's a collaboration, there should be something new included in it, right? Like, am I crazy for thinking that? Like, I don't know, and it makes me almost wonder, like, is something going on with e.l.f.? Are they like not doing so hot right now? Like, I have so many questions. But you can't find this bag. The one new thing to this Chipotle times e.l.f. collection is this bag, and you can't find it anywhere. And I think this is also something that I've seen with MAC. Now, I don't use MAC products, they aren't cruelty free, but one thing that I've seen with MAC over the years is that when they release a new collection, a lot of it's the same stuff, just like with different packaging, and they're just like not talked about as much as they used to be. I mean, people still have their like cult favorites, like Ruby Woo I still see people use, and that's cool. Like, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Like, you have your favorites, but the MAC stuff that I see come out or whatever, like, there's nothing new. It's just kind of stale, I guess is the way to put it. Like, it's their same stuff, just repackaged. And I get it, like, they are high-end quality. They are a brand that people have known and loved for quite some time. But in this day and age where there's innovation all the time and brands are coming out with new things, and like, you need to step up and you should also be doing the same. And for me, I kind of feel the same way about this e.l.f. collaboration. If you're gonna team up with Chipotle, like, think about that. You could come out with some really cool stuff. Like, think about Glam Light. They came out with some cool, like, there's the hamburger palette, there's the pizza palette, I think they have a taco palette. She just released the idea of the dessert palette. Like, there are some cool ideas as far as food go. And even, you don't have to make like a food themed eyeshadow palette. Like, you could make like food themed lip glosses, food themed lipsticks. Like, I don't understand this collaboration. It makes no sense to me. Like, it feels like it was something that was kind of just thrown together to promote the two brands, and it's not something that interests me. And I don't know if maybe I'm being too cynical when I'm thinking that. That's just kind of what my thought is. I was on e.l.f.'s website and it did kind of pique my interest. They've come out with skincare, and they have a new skincare, like, you can take an assessment, and I did it really quick to see what it gave me, and the products it gave me seemed like they would fit my skin and match me pretty well. I kind of want to try that, so it's kind of like a wishlist item, but I would like to see what Skincare by Hiram thinks of e.l.f. skincare before. I trust his opinion so much. I value what he says so much because, you know, it seems like he really truly cares about his viewers. I remember watching his Lush video and I'm like, whatever, I'm still gonna love Lush, and I still do love Lush, and I'll still use their products and whatnot. But I remember watching it and he was like, this is so hard for me to make because Lush is such a cool brand and the stuff that Lush stands for is super freaking awesome. He talked about like all the good things that they do, all the good promotions that they put out. Then he talked about how there are a lot of essential oils and parfums and stuff that are used in their products, which are not always the best for skin. And I do kind of have like somewhat touchy skin, but not the most. And so I don't know, I guess I'm just curious, and I suppose I could watch his videos and like educate myself enough to know like what to look out for as far as like good and bad skincare goes, and I could go and look really close at what e.l.f. has listed as far as their skincare line, like what sort of ingredients there are. I do want to try that. I want to get some sort of skincare. I haven't always been the best. I've used like a cleanser and then like a facial cream, and I guess looking into it now, like I am starting to see like the tiniest little wrinkles and stuff, and like it's like, yeah, Sarah, it might be time to invest into some good skincare. I'm gonna do my face a little bit out of order, just a heads up. Alright, let's look at the list. What's next on the list? I've only made it through 2 things and the list is pretty long. Oh, okay, so these are 2 older releases, but I kind of wanted to share my thoughts on them regardless. One of them being the Jaclyn Hill Volume 2 palette that she did with Morphe. The only reason that I'm really not interested in this palette is because it just seemed really pinky tone to me, and I'm kind of over all of the red tone palettes. Like, I don't know, I'm not interested in it. It seems like it's been done so many times, and so many of the shades just seem so similar. Like, to me, if I want a palette, like, and I want it to be like a certain tone, like, yeah, sure, that makes sense. But to me, like, if I were to buy this palette, I'd be buying it because it's Jaclyn and I've watched her since I was like 10, not because I like the color of the palette. And so, like, for the sake of it being Jaclyn Hill and I have watched her for quite some time, yes, I would want to support her. But at the same time, it's like, I'm not gonna buy that palette just to support her when it's $39. I could get 10% off with code James, so that's like $4 off, or I could get $3.50 off through the Ulta website. So really it would be about $35. But to me, that's still expensive for a palette that I'm really not going to be using. I'm going to go in with my BH Ultimate Matte 42 Color Shadow Palette. I love BH. I want to do a video where I explore forgotten brands, and BH to me is one that is not completely forgotten, but it feels like it has been pushed to the back burner. And I absolutely love this brand. I think that they are super high quality for the price point, not the point of what I'm talking about right now. On the same lines, this is another palette that came out relatively not too long ago, but they aren't exactly new and they aren't like a new drop that's happening soon, are the Norvina palettes. I've looked at them and they do have fun colors, you know. They're not like bad colors, they're not like a bad color scheme or a bad color story, but like to me, when I look at them, I'm like, yeah, I have a lot of colorful palettes. These are expensive. I'm just really not that interested in them. You know, it's not that I dislike Norvina. I don't know a whole lot about Norvina, honestly. All I've ever seen her, I watched Instant Influencer or whatever, so I saw her on that. She was critical. She was like the Simon of the show. Not like mean, but she was like the more critical of the 3 judges, I thought. No, here, I'm gonna zoom you in a little bit on my eyes, because why not? So I like I said, you know, it's not like I don't know her. Like, I know that she is Anastasia. Like, that's her brand. And supposedly that's like a brand within the brand. I don't know. That's kind of confusing too. But I guess I'm just not all that interested in those products. Like that, those have been out for a while. But here's my problem, and I'm probably like speaking too late about this or whatever. My opinion really is irrelevant, but I'm so sick and tired of brands releasing things back to back to back to back and not giving us time to breathe. And ColourPop is another one who does this. I'm trying to think if there are other, like, ColourPop does it all the time. I'm trying to think if there are other brands, but ColourPop is one that likes to release product all the time. All the time they like to release new product, and it's like, okay, cool, slow it down please. Like, I want to try out new ColourPop products, but like, and I want to support ColourPop because I think that what they're doing as an indie brand and have set such a standard, like as far as like beauty products go, being so inexpensive but such high quality. Slow down a little bit, ColourPop. Let us enjoy the different things that you're putting out. And like the same thing goes for Anastasia. Like, I don't get it. And especially with that, it's very irritating to me to find out that they had released the Jackie Aina palette and the Carly by Belle palette but they didn't get their minute. And it's like, these are women who really have paid their dues and have worked hard to get to where they are. Whether you like them or not, like, you have to admit they worked their butts off to get to the point that they are at. And then the comment that, like, consumers are getting bored, I don't know, I disagree. I think consumers are getting overwhelmed. Like, it's like launch after launch after launch after launch, and it's like, just slow the down already. Like, we're all gonna be here, and I feel like they would probably do better. Like, are they hurting for money? Like, they need to make all this money right away because they're, like, not, like, making up ground or something? Like, I don't get it. I don't get it. Someone make it make sense. So the next thing on my list is the Manny MUA, his Lunar Beauty. He came out with a Moon Prism collection, and I'll be quite honest with you, I didn't even know Manny came out with his own line until probably about a month and a half, 2 months ago, when I started watching beauty videos again outside of about 5 creators. So Manny was not one of those, because there was that whole, what was it, Dramageddon 1, where Gabriel Samora had posted the video, or the photo, which, by the way, looking back at that, like, and that wasn't why I stopped watching Manny. I stopped watching him long before that because of people he was hanging around, and I was just kind of sick of it. So I was like, you seem like a robot, like, you're just repeating everything and doing everything these other people are doing, and I was just like, I'm done. But then that picture of him and Laura Lee and Gabriel Zamora, and I forget, was it Nikita? Was she in it? Dropped, and like, Manny was just canceled instantly, and I'm like, looking at it now, I don't get why he got what he got, like, completely. It was just a picture. It was just a picture. Like, none of us were friends with Jeffree Star when that happened. For him to just be canceled for one stupid little picture because Jeffree got all pissy about it, I don't know, it makes sense to me. I've gotten better at my brows. A little bit. If you guys have watched me for a while, you know, my brows have been a journey. But anyway, so like, I don't know. I never understood why Manny got what he got. So, I found out that Manny has a brand, and lo and behold, it's sold in Sephora, which I think is super cool. Good for him, because, and here's the other thing, after watching him and going and watching a lot of the videos that he's posted since his comeback video, I really feel like he has grown and changed watching him from a camera, at least how he presents himself and how he kind of just stays in his own lane, and who knows what goes on behind the scenes, and who knows if he's just doing that for the camera. But for me, I really feel like I've seen a change in how Manny presents himself on his channel and how he handles himself, and to me that's pretty cool. So I checked around, and I had been snooping with his products a whole lot more about it. He doesn't have a whole lot in his line. So anyway, he announced that he was gonna have a drop or whatever, and I was like, oh, interesting, I want to see. So I watched the video of his products that dropped, and it's a blush collection. It's the Prism Blush Collection, and it has a 6-color blush palette and 3 lip glosses. He said he waited until he felt like it was a good time to drop the product. I guess it was supposed to originally come out in February, but he felt like it just wasn't appropriate given the current circumstance of the world or whatever. Now, and I'm gonna admit, I am gonna be a little biased here just because I have enjoyed watching Manny again. He was one of my favorite creators from the first time I watched any of his videos up until when I was like, I'm done with the beauty community. He was one of my favorites. So his products, the blush palette, 6 pans, $35. To me, since he is a high-end luxury brand, that's not bad. He's sold in Sephora, because you think about a single high-end blush, they're anywhere from 20 to 40 bucks typically. Like, that's not exaggerating. They're anywhere from 20 to 40 bucks. Even like a NYX blush is like 10 bucks. So to me, I feel like the price point is very fair. You do have to pay shipping off of his website, and then you can get a one of the lip glosses for $17, which to me is expensive for a lip gloss. I'm just saying it's expensive for a lip gloss. Essence, in my opinion, has some of the best lip glosses at the drugstore, and they're like $3.50, I think. They might even be less than that. Yeah, so to me, $17 is expensive. However, if you buy the bundle, because he's gonna have a limited amount of bundles, he said. If you buy the bundle, it's 35, or no, is it, I have it written down. It's 40 for all 3 lip glosses, or if you get on early enough and you can get the bundle, of the lip glosses and the blush palette, it's $60, which to me I think is, so to me I feel like that's a really fair price point. And again, I am probably biased. I've enjoyed rewatching Manny's videos and seeing how he really has grown and seems to have separated himself. I liked watching him in Reality House. So that's kind of a wish list item for me. I kind of have an interest in getting on Wednesday when it drops to try and get a bundle of the blushes and the lip glosses, but we'll see. I don't know, but at the same time, like I said, you know, a blush palette isn't anything too exciting in my opinion. And the other thing though, for me too, I guess personally when I think about this, a lot of my blushes are this exact same like mauvey, not mauve, like muted pink tone blush. So this palette, it does have muted pink tones to it, but at the same time it does have some more bold colors to it. So I think that it would be a nice little addition to my collection. So if I want to spice things up every now and then, I can spice things up every now and then. Alright, let's talk about James Charles, because he is releasing some Sisters apparel stuff, which to me, like, more power to him. I think it's cool that he's getting it up and running again. But after all of the fallout from last year, I think it's cool that he is restarting his Sisters apparel and getting himself back out there. But here's the thing, 60 bucks for a hoodie is expensive. YouTube influencer or whatever or not, like I just feel like that is super expensive for a hoodie. No, and he is doing free shipping, so I guess maybe that plays into it a little bit. Free shipping internationally, I believe, is what I read somewhere. To me, that's still really expensive for a hoodie. I don't know if I've ever talked about it on here. I know I've mentioned it on TikTok. Good Mythical Morning Fan, Rhett and Link are two of my favorite creators of all time. I just think that there's something so creative about the content that they put out. It's unique. And you know, I shouldn't say it's unique because I guess I've seen other people try to make similar sort of content, but the way they do it is just so, this is very red. I want to buy one of their hoodies. They're like 40 bucks, but get a coupon code. You can find a coupon code for 20% off, and that knocks $8 off. So I'm paying like 32 bucks for the Good Mythical Morning hoodie I got. To me, that's worth it. It's 32 bucks. It's not just one person as far as like fan apparel goes, but it's the whole Mythical team. Well, it's not that I dislike James. I think he's a very smart businessman and he's coming up with some cool ideas, and that's groovy, but I don't see 60 bucks for a hoodie. I do have a theory though that he and Morphe are getting ready to release something new. I don't know why, but I just like have this feeling in my bones that he's about to release something new with Morphe. My eyebrows do not look good today. Can you believe I was like, yeah, I've gotten better at my eyebrows. This is how they look. This one is like way thinner. Should I try to fix it? I'm gonna try to fix it. All right, moving on to the next product. This is also not exactly a new one, but it's something that crossed my mind because I keep getting like suggestions to watch people unbox it, and it is the Trisha Paytas box. I'm sorry, but like at this point I don't understand how Trisha has the platform that she has, and I just have absolutely no interest. And she to me is someone who's very smart and very calculated, and she knows exactly what she's doing, and she purposely attacks people just to be a troll, like groups of people, and I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I saw she has the box. It's like expensive. I want to say it's $60-something every quarter, I think is what it is, every few months. I don't even think it's every month. And I've seen some of the items that come in the box, and like on top of me just not being interested in it because it's Trisha, the box itself, like, I'm sorry, it seems like somebody just said, all right, Trisha, pick a bunch of stuff off of AliExpress and we'll go with that. Whoever was in charge of it really just, it felt like just didn't give a shit with what's being put in it. So that's my opinion. Love me or hate me for it. I have no desire to try the Trisha Paytas box. So let's move back into something a little more positive. BH Cosmetics, one of my favorite brands, like I mentioned, has come out with a Moonlight, or a Midnight Festival line. I'm using the Moonlight. I keep saying Moonlight. It's Midnight. I keep using the Midnight Festival brushes. These pink ones are the Midnight Festival brushes, and I really like these brushes, but I didn't realize they came out with a palette, and it's basically a sister palette to the to the Weekend Festival palette that a lot of people really loved about a year or two ago that they came out with. So to me, I was like, huh, interesting. I really like the Weekend Festival palette, and I looked at it and I do like the color scheme. It's not the most exciting, but with BH you can often find things that are on sale. I mean, their pricing is pretty good to begin with, I think. Alright, we're going back to negatives here, and we're gonna talk about Jeffree Star as a whole. I have never purchased anything from Jeffree Star's brand. I've never really really felt all that interested in it, except for the Shane Dawson, like the conspiracy video and like that whole palette and whatnot. I've never really been all that interested, and I don't like the arrogance. I'm sorry, like I don't think it's funny. I think it's good to be confident, but just like, I don't know, like, and I look at him and I look at, like, say Bretman Rock, who has, oh my goodness, he has the most confidence in the world, right? I just feel like they present themselves in two completely different ways. Like, to me, Jeffrey's he's more condescending with how he presents himself, whereas Bretman, it just feels like he just doesn't, he like says what he says, I'm the baddest hello, like I am who I am, take me or leave me. To me, Bretman, like, he says the things he says and he believes the things he says, which is cool, but he doesn't do it in a condescending way. And that being said, there is this new cremated palette. Everybody and their mother has heard about it. The first thing though with it, before I even talk about the palette and the controversy surrounding it, it looks boring as he's like going on about how this is like a goth palette. It's just a perfect goth palette and this, that, and the other. I'm not gonna claim to be a goth. I'm not a goth person. I'm not emo. I would be what I would call a punk. That's what I've always referred to myself as. I'm a punk. And to me, they're all very, very different things. And I really don't know how to explain it, but like if you're part of that like realm, you'll get what I'm getting at. Like you'll just get it. Like scene is different too. Like it's all, there are so many different things. There's pastel goth. There's just so many different levels to it, but I feel like a lot of us have the same appreciation for like a goth aesthetic, goth theme thing. I'm all about like dark eyeshadow palettes and whatnot, but this to me, I don't get where he's getting this is so revolutionary goth palette, and like I'm sure he worked really hard on it, so I feel bad that like I'm on it so harshly, but to me I'm like, this really isn't all that goth, all that revolutionary. So with that being said, the color scheme just didn't speak to me. It was all a bunch of different grays and not a palette like this before. Where I have a problem with that is that there are other palettes. ColourPop came out with one. Kat Von D Shade and Light palette was like the first one. I believe Makeup Revolution has one that's like this. There's a Wet n Wild, like a quad. I know that they put one out at one point. So to me, it's really not revolutionary. We've seen black eyeshadow palettes before. These dark. Now we're going to talk about the controversy that a lot of other people have spoken up about. It is insensitive and it is in poor taste because it's called the cremated palette with everything going on in the world right now. I don't know that I like the shape of these wings, but it's fine. I'm not going anywhere. The other controversy stirring up around this palette right now, here's my opinion on that. I think that regardless of the timing, the palette is just tacky. And I get it, it's on brand. He likes to deceased is like one of his favorite sayings, and I know a lot of people disagree with that, so whatever. I want to mention, as far as that goes, if this were any other brand, they would also be getting the same backlash over calling their palette cremated and theming it the way that they're theming it. Right? But the other thing I want to say though is, like, if it were any other brand that came out with this palette themed this way, named this way, shades named the way that they're named, he would be the one at the front of the mob with his pitchfork going after them. He likes to insert himself into other situations that really don't have anything to do with him. That being said, those products, it's tacky, it just doesn't call to me. I have a feeling that we're gonna see a restock of the Shane Dawson palette very soon. And that was the one thing from Jeffree Star Cosmetics. I wanted the collection. I wanted to pay for the palette and all the lipsticks and the lip glosses. Like, I wanted that so bad. I like had it in my cart. Like, I remember the day it dropped, I was ready to go. I was ready to buy the whole thing, but I didn't because I got kicked out. Like, it just didn't happen. And I'm looking back, I'm glad that it didn't happen because I don't want that palette anymore. Look at how he acts and how he's treated other influencers and how he has really inserted himself where he didn't need to be. Like James Charles last year. This Davi Vanity thing, the blood on the dance floor thing. If you guys don't know what that is, if you haven't heard about it, Jeffree Star used to tour with Blood on the Dance Floor when he made music. Davi Vanity's band, Blood on the Dance Floor, toured with him. This was where Jeffree Star needed to stand up and interject himself because this wasn't drama. This was actual, like, children. To me, after watching his not the Bachelor guy, To Catch a Predator guy, Chris Hansen, things that were coming out of Jeffree's mouth made it clear that he knew of what was going on and that he should have stepped up. One of the comments he made was about a member that was in Blood on the Dance Floor, like that interacted with Davi more. The way he said it was that guy needs to step up and say something because he knows. Well, how do you know he knows? Has he told you these things? He would say that he would like hear things or whatever. No, you knew things, you kept it to yourself, and that's not okay. And what I want to say is, this isn't a thing where it's a case of it's not my business, I'm gonna look the other way. This is where minors are involved. This is where children are being like, okay, take for example, this would be a mind my own business situation, right? If I were over at my friend's house and her boyfriend cheated on her and it was this whole big drama situation and they wanted to pull me into it to get my side, get my opinion, no, that's not my business. This is completely different. He's hearing things about this band member that he's on tour with, that he tours with closely, doing inappropriate things with minors. He needs to step up and say something, case closed, period. That's where it's done and over with. And for me, that's just so unforgivable. And so even though I loved Shane for quite some time, I grew up watching his videos, all of those things, still Jeffree Star Cosmetics. Jeffree Star is still gonna make money off of it. So when this stuff refills, I have no interest in buying it. I love this Catrice Prime and Fine Spray. It smells so good. It smells so good. So yeah, I'm gonna dry my hair really quick some more and I'll be right back, and I have one more thing I want to talk about. Alright, so basically I have this about as dry as I think I can get it with my hair dryer. It's not gonna look exactly like I like it, but I'm gonna go ahead and untie these and then I might go over them or go over my hair again with my hair dryer. Oh, it's not dry enough. Oh gosh. I don't know how much of that I actually recorded before I realized my camera was screaming at me that my card is full. So basically what happened was I took the thing out of my hair and it was wavy and I was like, I didn't dry it all the way nice enough. This is what it looks like probably 2 or 3 days after I do, 2 or 3 days into having done my hair in this manner. It doesn't look bad, it just looks naturally wavy. Usually it would look a little bit more curly if I would have given it more time to dry on its own, I should say. I know, I like it. It just looks like a natural wave, which isn't bad. I wish I would have left it, and maybe I should have just done that, is let it dry and then come back and like, here, this is what it looks like. Whatever, it's fine. I have one more thing. So another thing on the wish list side of my anti-haul wish list video is that I've been saying this for so long that I want to expand my channel to more than just makeup. Sorry, I'm laughing at some of the commentary I'm getting from my boyfriend. Speaking of, I want to start working with him. He also likes taking photos and videos, and so like I've had this idea and we've kind of talked about it of like creating things together. I don't know, that's a thought. I want it, but I really do. I want to expand this channel to more than just makeup and beauty, because I do love that and I do want to continue to do that, but like there are other things like that catfishing video that I posted. A lot of people seem to really enjoy that, and I want to be able to create more videos like that instead of just makeup centered. If you are interested in seeing if that happens, you can subscribe down below and I will catch you all in the next one. Bye! But I feel like maybe that's not the best thing in the... Oh my god, I got dressed and my window curtain is like halfway open. I cannot talk. My aunt is crazy. I posted a picture of me and my boyfriend on Instagram last night for the first time. She nosy. Oh shit, I have a laptop on my computer. If I bought it, it would just be such a standard. There's a hair on my nose. This is the weirdest thing. I like sweat under my nose, like right here. Like under my nose, just on my nose. I feel like I have a beak or something. Like, I don't even know. Or like, you know in Halloween Town when they need like the sweat of the ghost or whatever, so they like lock the ghost in like the sweat box or whatever, and there's just like the sweat that tips off, like comes off of his nose. That's what I feel like. Much of that I got before I realized my... Oh my god.